Aloha and welcome to another edition of Cooking Hawaiian Style, presented by Aloha Mortgage Advisors. We got a special guest in the kitchen today. He's from HiCraft in Kakaako. Let's get cooking.
When you're living on the island, such a diverse Hawaii. When you've tasted all the flavors, from the mountain to the sea, we're cooking Hawaiian style.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Chef Carlos Jorge. How you doing, Chef?
I'm doing well.
How's HiCraft doing?
HiCraft is doing great, thanks to the local support.
Yeah.
It's doing phenomenal.
Tell everybody where you're at.
We're located in Keahu Lane, in Kakaako, and we're going on 3 years
Right
this
on.
February.
What are we going to be making today?
Today we've got our Baby Got Back boneless baby back rib sandwich.
I love a good rib.
We have our rack of baby back ribs right here.
Okay.
And this is always a crowd favorite, short on ingredients, but really, really big on flavor. So
All
what
right.
we have here are all of the ingredients for our dry cure.
All right.
So we have some salt, some ancho
Am I putting that in
chili
here?
powder. You're going to put all of that right in there.
So
and
if
we're
they
just
don't
gonna
have
go
a
ahead and whiz it.
Roboku, what should they use?
Well, if they don't have a Roboku, an ordinary mixing bowl and a whisk will suffice just as fine.
All right. How much salt did we put in there?
We've got about 4 teaspoons of salt. We've got about a teaspoon of ground cumin.
All right.
We've got about 2 tablespoons of ancho chili powder.
All right. What else?
Some
we
brown
using there?
sugar.
Brown sugar.
1 teaspoon.
Okay.
5 teaspoons of black pepper.
All right.
And half a teaspoon of oregano.
Oregano. We're going to put all this on our website so you got the exact amount.
In addition to that, we need some garlic because
Garlic.
what's pork
How much
without
garlic?
That right there is 5 cloves of garlic.
All right.
So we're going to get that in, whiz it around so that it's all nice and evenly distributed.
All right. All right, Chef. I'm just going to do this a couple times.
Just a couple of quick pulses.
All right. And
in
then
the
what does it look
meantime,
like?
I've got one already done here. And this is what the finished mix should look like. And what we're going to do is we're going to pack this right onto our baby back ribs.
Oh,
and
that
we
looks
can't be
good.
shy on this one. We have to pack it right in. The recipe that we have calls for 1 3-pound rack, and that's exactly what we're going to use for this guy
Okay.
right
Now,
here.
fennel. A lot of people are afraid to use fennel. Did you know back in the Egyptian days they would use this as medicine?
As medicinal purposes, that
Yes.
is correct.
And then also the Chinese used to use it for snake bites.
Fennel is also good as a tea.
All right. So do I just cut this in half? How do you
You're
want
going to cut
me
that
to
in
do it?
half, and then you're
we're
going to
gonna-
go ahead and you're going to start slicing it right off on there.
All right. So just get a
Just a couple of thin slices.
mandolin
Yes.
like that. Is this your own recipe, Chef?
This is my own recipe, Lanai.
Awesome.
This is my own recipe. And every time we have this on at the restaurant, we really can't keep up with the production. Really is one of our crowd favorites.
That's awesome.
So
And
what
I've
we
never
want,
had a fennel slaw before, so I'm excited to try
it's
this.
very, very refreshing, very, very crisp and cooling to
Yeah.
offset the heaviness of the pork and the barbecue sauce.
And we're going to put that in the oven.
This is going to go into an oven after we wrap it up in both some film as well as some foil.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to go ahead and
So
start
what
doing
should we
right now.
preheat the oven at?
The oven should be at no more than 250 degrees. You want to go low and slow for a minimum of 4 hours on this.
Okay.
We're going to cook them into their fork tender, and the bones will easily come out.
That sounds good. How's this? Is this enough? Can I just chop these up?
That's
right here?
excellent. That's excellent right there, and you can go ahead and start putting
Okay.
that into this bowl right here.
I'm going to move this out of our way too.
Yes.
How's that? All right. We're going to put all the fennel in here.
You're going to put all that fennel in there, and then we're going to go ahead and start off with the,
What do we want to do next?
we've got some coarse ground mustard,
Okay, some mustard right there.
all right inside.
All right. I'm going to put this in here. Put all of it in there.
That is correct.
You know what? Can you, let me have one of those spoons right next to you. That's too big.
There you go.
You don't know what I was thinking.
There
All
you
right,
go.
some mustard, some
Some
Grey
mustard, some
Poupon.
maple syrup.
Okay,
Maple syrup right there. You've got about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup,
maple syrup,
some apple cider vinegar.
apple cider vinegar. How much of that?
That's about another 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar.
Let me
And we're
put
going to
this
keep
right
some of
here.
these fronds
Okay.
so that we can use it as a garnish.
All right.
So we're just going to put a few of those fronds just to give it a visual
You
garnish.
want me to just do like something like this?
That's fine right there.
All right. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and wrap your ribs. And we're gonna get that in the oven.
We're gonna get these guys in the oven.
Okay.
While you finish that slaw.
And what do we put the oven on again?
250 degrees.
Okay.
For about 4.5 hours.
All right. And should I break up this a little bit more, or do you like it like this, size-wise?
Size-wise, that's fine, but we're also gonna add to that a little bit of Granny Smith
All right,
apple.
we're gonna take a little break. When we come back, we're gonna finish up these ribs and the slaw. So don't go anywhere, it's cooking Hawaiian style. It smells good. This season of Cooking Hawaiian Style is presented by Aloha Mortgage Advisors. We bring you home. Welcome back to Cooking Hawaiian Style. I'm here making this fennel slaw. Chef, right before we went to break, you put those baby back in some saran wrap. You put it in the refrigerator?
That's correct.
How long?
What we want to do is we want to leave them at least overnight.
Okay.
Double layer of saran wrap and then one layer of some heavy duty foil.
Okay.
Which is what we have here.
All right.
And then we're going into the oven, 250 degrees.
All right.
For about 4 hours.
4 hours.
Correct.
You want to go low and slow?
Low and slow on this one.
What are you chopping up there?
So now we've got some fresh mint leaves right here, which we're going to add to that slaw. This is again going to give it that brightness, that little taste of spring, of summer, if you will. And we're going to go right in with the mint. Don't be shy with the mint.
That fennel and that mustard is really good.
As well as some apple.
If you've never had fennel before, it kind of has a black licorice taste. But if you don't like black licorice, people still like this.
It's
you
just
see that?
so delicious. It's so delicious.
And what a simple salad, too.
Like I said, low on prep, but big on flavor.
And you just put a little bit of green apple in there?
A little bit of Granny Smith apple we're going to add right in there.
Add some sweetness to this thing?
Correct.
I like that. What a great slaw. I think people are always afraid to use fennel because, I mean, it doesn't...
season that a little
It looks
bit.
very intimidating too, right?
It does. It's sort of this big knobby thing that grows out of the ground and nobody knows how to use it.
And you can eat all of this raw too, correct?
All of that can be eaten raw.
Yeah. All right. What do we got there on the pan?
So right here we've got our ciabatta bread. It's just toasting away so that we have a nice bed on which to put our ribs, which I'm going to go ahead and start pulling out.
Go ahead. Let's get the through the magic of television.
What we have here is
or the
our
internet
finished product.
Yes, we got a finished one here.
We have our finished product here.
Let me get this out of the way for you, Chef.
Go ahead and move these guys out of the way.
All right.
And what you'll end up having is these ribs that are right here, and the bones will slide right out after that 5-hour mark.
Okay. Now, if you have a old stove like mine, can you go a little bit longer? Will that ruin it?
You can go a little bit longer, but you won't get as soft a texture on the resultant meat.
Yeah.
And so I find that low and slow is the best way because what happens is you're actually using the steam to cook the ribs.
Okay.
And as you can see, the bones will slide right out.
Oh, look at that. That's how you know that bug is
The bones
soft.
slide right out.
You're going to use this as a plate. Can I plate this for you, Chef?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and give you the setup for that plate up right now.
Okay.
So right here we have our ciabatta.
All right. And
our ribs are coming out.
That looks so good. I wish you guys could smell this. The whole recipe is going to be on our website, cookinghawaiianstyle.com. How long you been cooking, Chef?
I've been cooking professionally for about 23 years.
Nice.
And recreationally for about 47 years.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that looks so amazing.
So these are our ribs right here. As you can see, they are just melting, your mouth tender. We want to get rid of some of this excess cartilage. And what you also want to do is you want to feel around here, especially on the low ends, for any bone fragments when they were cut.
And I love that cartilage in there. All that fat and cartilage and juice, that's where it's all at.
At HiCraft, we make our own barbecue sauce in-house. This is honey chipotle.
Okay.
And again, the recipe is on the website.
Yes.
So we're just going to give this a quick brush, and you could use whichever.
You know he's a good chef because he carries around a paintbrush for his barbecue sauce. Right?
I also like to paint.
Tell everybody what you guys cook at the restaurant. What kind of food?
We're mostly doing high-end artisanal sandwiches, soups and salads, house-baked goods, but we also do our weekly Saturday dinner's plate specials, which have just been receiving rave reviews ever since the start of the pandemic.
And if you guys are looking for them in Kakaako, it's behind Down to Earth in that lane where the new complex, right?
Correct.
Where the complex is. So it's kind of like in an alley, but it's a nice
in
alley.
Keho Lane.
Yes.
That is correct.
All right, go ahead.
And so right here, what we have is our finished product is our baby back rib sandwich. We're going to mound this up high, and don't be shy.
I have a feeling that's going to be really tasty.
We're going to mound them up high because
the mustard and the fennel go really well together. And I think that apple cider vinegar kind of just completes it.
We'll plate that there.
Oh, that looks good.
And there's our finished baby got back.
There you
boneless
go.
rib
Chef, can you
sandwich.
cut me a piece of that? I just want to see
Certainly can.
how tender that is.
Certainly
What
can.
talk about fall off the
Taste
bone,
that.
huh?
Taste that.
Look at that.
And what we have is, it's a great on smoky flavor, just because, yeah.
Good job. Do you have this on the menu every day?
We do not offer this as a regular,
Uh-huh.
but when we do, as I mentioned earlier, we can't keep up with the production.
I bet.
It's one of our real crowd favorites.
I wonder what it tastes like with a piece of cheese on that. All right, I'm destroying it now. When we come back, what are you gonna make?
When we come back, we're gonna be doing our Philly cheesesteak. It's one of my personal favorites.
All right.
And we're gonna get to it.
All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, Cooking Hawaiian Style, Chef Carlos is hanging out with us. Got more to eat. This is really good, Chef. This season of Cooking Hawaiian Style is brought to you by Kala'i Aloha Estate. We're here with Chef Carlos Jorge, and what are we gonna make next, Chef?
Next, we're gonna do our Philly cheesesteak.
All right.
Something near and dear to my heart.
What
I
do-
spent many years in Philly cooking, and this is one of my favorites.
What do I need to do?
So what you need to do is you want to go ahead and slice off some of the walls of this green pepper.
Okay.
And we're going to do what's called a julienne.
Julian.
Correct.
Julian, and what do you be doing?
And while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and make the Mornay sauce, just
Okay.
a fancy term for a cheese sauce.
All right.
So what we have here is about an ounce of butter.
Okay.
I'm going to get that in the pan. We also have an ounce, equal parts of flour, all-purpose flour. I'm
Okay.
going to get that inside of a pan and get that melted so we can start making our bechamel.
How's these slices? Thinner?
That's perfect.
All
That's
right.
perfect for our
I can apply for a
applications.
job?
You can definitely apply. You can get one too. You can get one. How's that?
All right. What are you doing next?
Next, we've got here about 4 ounces of cheddar cheese.
Okay.
Very important, not the pre-sliced kind. For those of you at home, do not buy the pre-sliced.
Not the
And do you
one in
know
the
why?
plastic.
And do you know why?
Why? Tell us.
Because the pre-sliced has an anti-caking agent which prevents it from sticking to each other.
Ah, I didn't know
it's
that.
sort of like a talcum powder.
Ah,
that
good to
prevents
know.
it from binding and making a very nice, smooth sauce.
See, you
when
learn
go
some
to-
stuff when you watch this show. All right? So you want to get the cubed ones.
You want to get the cube blocks and break it off and block it off yourself.
How much
you're doing it at
onion do
home.
you want, Chef? Half?
I want half the onion, yeah. About
Yes,
the
chef.
same, the
All right.
same cut that we have right there.
Sounds good to me. All
And
right.
while you get that going, I also have over here our local ribeye, which
Okay.
is from our good friends over at Honolulu Meat. This is sliced really thin. If at home you can't get this so thin, then maybe you can get it at a supermarket, shabu shabu style. They sell them already prepackaged.
I was going to say shabu shabu. That looks just like this exact meat. But you want to use prime?
Prime is preferable, yes.
All right.
Prime is preferable.
And if
We're
you
gonna-
have an old prime rib that you didn't eat the whole thing, could I
you can-
use that?
You can slice it up. If
Yeah.
it's got a nice medium rare to it, because remember, we're going to go ahead and cook this a little bit more.
Okay.
While we're going with that, I'm seasoning up, and now these onions and peppers are ready to go. Let's get those into a nice hot pan. A little bit of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons.
You got to have onions and peppers when you do a Philly cheesesteak. I did a show called the Great Food Truck Race, and one of the teams were the Philly Boys,
Okay.
and they made amazing Philly cheese steak sandwiches. So I'm putting you to the test because they're from Philadelphia. Shout out to my boys in Philly, the Philly Boys.
The Philly Boys, shout out to
Yes.
you guys. So into this mix, which is flour and butter,
Okay.
we are going to add about 8 ounces of whole milk.
So do they call that a roux?
A roux is first, the
Uh-huh.
flour and the butter, equal parts butter and flour, or equal parts fat and flour.
Okay.
And then once you get the milk in there and you start making it all smooth, it becomes a bechamel. Once you
Bechamel.
add the cheese, it becomes a Mornay.
All right. So we're just layering here.
We're layering it.
A little
All the while
fancy,
we're going with
little
this
fancy talk, huh?
little fancy talk. We
Why
have
are
to get
all our
fancy every so often.
terminologies from the French?
We need to get some more Hawaiian terminology.
Yeah, right? What would we call that? Straight fat?
Straight fat. Butter.
Butter, right? So, and if you want to do just onions, if you don't like peppers, you can just do onions.
You
if
can
you
do
like.
just onions. Classically, it is just onions.
Yes.
However, I'm partial to that smell
Okay.
of onions and peppers cooking together.
You're gonna salt and pepper that?
We're going to salt and pepper that, yes.
All
Just right before we're ready to go.
Okay. Just a
And
little
here,
more olive oil.
Here we have our ribeye, which
Go
is
ahead,
sliced
go
nice
for
and
it.
thin.
Just some olive oil on the pan.
Olive oil in the pan, just a little fat so that it doesn't stick, although we are in a non-stick pan. And we're going to go ahead and slice that up.
Magic. Good
The
job.
magic of
You can
television.
tell he's a chef because they touch fire. They just touch fire, you guys. You have calluses on your hand. What was your first cooking gig?
My first cooking gig was at a hotel in New York City called the Royalton,
The Royalton.
44 West 44th Street.
Is it still there?
I was a breakfast cook, yes. In
So you
fact, it was one of Ian Schrager's hotels.
Oh, really? You make a good egg then, huh?
I make a killer omelet, no color, as the classic French would dictate.
Yeah, well,
No color whatsoever.
I gotta learn that.
Rolled, not folded.
All right. So we got about a minute left, and we're gonna assemble this, I guess, when we come back.
Yeah.
Now, that you're just gonna leave it all together now, like that, right? You're not gonna chop it up or anything. Just
We're not
leave
going
it
to chop
layered.
this up. We're just gonna go ahead and move it around in the
Okay.
pan so that it's just browned. You don't want to cook it. You don't want any major color on this. You just want it to be a little brown and that it's cooked through and there are no visible traces of red
Okay.
anymore.
How do we know when to add the cheese to our bechamel there? Oh, no, it's not a bechamel anymore.
It is a bechamel
It's still
at this
a bechamel,
point.
okay.
We will add the cheese once it has achieved its proper thickness, which will only occur when it comes up to a full boil.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna finish cooking all this and put it all together. We're making a Philly cheesesteak. It's Chef Carlos. Don't go anywhere. It's cooking Hawaiian style. This season of Cooking Hawaiian Style is brought to you by Hawaii Self Storage. Chef Carlos, we got that bechamel going, and we're gonna put some cheese in there. We got some green
Got
peppers,
some green
and
peppers
some
and some onions.
All right.
So the cheese goes in, and what our resultant Mornay sauce looks like is this right here,
There you go.
which was done earlier.
How long does that usually go?
It usually goes about 40 minutes, start to finish.
Okay. And you want to go slow?
You want to go slow, otherwise you'll scorch the cheese,
Yeah.
or worse yet, you'll separate it and you won't have a smooth sauce.
All right. So you just put the prime rib.
We combine the
meat?
prime rib with the onions and the peppers, and now we're just going to go ahead and add in the cheese that we made.
Oh, you're gonna go right into the pan.
We're going to go right into the pan,
Okay, I got you.
and we're going to just mix that all up.
So don't be lazy and go buy Cheese Whiz, okay? You do it this way so it tastes the real deal. Let me taste it. Oh, that's awesome. That's really good. Did you add any salt and pepper to that?
There is no salt and pepper in that at
Okay.
all. That is just what we had on: butter, flour, milk,
right.
and cheese.
So he's adding the cheese right in there, and we got some bread for you here.
And so
What
then
kind of
our
bread you
finish,
using?
this right here from our good friends over at Latour Bakery.
Love Latour.
Rodney and the boys do an excellent job.
Yes.
Their entire team,
I love
phenomenal
the whole
job.
family over there. at
Parisian
Latour.
baguette.
Let me open that for you.
And this is our Philly cheesesteak, which is going to get layered right in there.
Oh, chef.
Sorry.
Burning me, chef. But it looks good. It was worth the burn. Tastes good. Look at that. Can we get a shot of that?
That's our Philly cheesesteak,
That
Philadelphia,
looks
on the menu at
amazing.
HiCraft Kitchen.
So you have this every day?
That is an everyday offering.
Yeah.
Yes, every day.
All right, we gotta try some of this. You
Definitely
wanna cut me
do.
some pieces?
Certainly.
Do you put anything else on there?
That is it.
I'm gonna put this up here, okay? Do you mind if I do this here?
Not at all. Go right ahead. Here you
And
are.
I'm gonna cut this one. Tell everybody what you made here. They missed it.
That one is our baby got back. Boneless
got
baby
back.
back. Boneless baby back rib.
Look how beautiful.
Apple
that
and
looks.
fennel slaw
Look how
on
beautiful.
toasted ciabatta.
Amazing. Tell everybody what you did here.
Philly cheesesteak, prime local beef, Mornay sauce, cheddar cheese sauce, onions and peppers sautéed.
Beautiful. The fennel and the baby back ribs just go well together.
Doesn't it offset it really nice?
I like it better than cabbage. You know, most people
Much
put a
better.
slaw with a cabbage, but don't
This
be
has a
afraid
greater
to use the
flavor.
fennel, guys.
Go
And
outside
then-
of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Where can they find you? You on social media?
We're on social media, HiCraft_Kitchen on Instagram, Facebook, HiCraft_Kitchen, and of course, 516 Keawe Street, right in the heart of Kakaako.
Awesome. We've got to thank Kalai Aloha Estate for having us here again for our, can you believe it, 16 seasons we're doing this.
Amazing.
And we're so happy that you're here. Oh, I got to try the
I'm
cheese
so
steak.
happy that you had me.
I know.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Go ahead. You want to take a bite?
Let's do it together.
Cheers. I'm making a
Cheers.
mess here. Hot. Hot. Where'd you go to school for food?
Mm.
Amazing. Oh. A good
Institute
homeroom.
for Culinary Education, New York City.
So you went to a good school.
I went to a great school. It was actually known as Peter Kump's Cooking School when I attended. Further on down the line, they switched over to ICE, Institute for Culinary Education.
And then when did you open HiCraft?
We opened HiCraft February of 2019, exactly 1 year pre-pandemic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was exciting because look, you're still open.
We're still open.
And we're excited for you
We're
guys.
blessed. We're blessed that the local community has come out in strong support of our product day in and day out. And
By
for
the
that,
way, they make a good cookie. They make a really good cookie, and we're going to make a collaboration cookie, right?
peanut butter,
Yeah.
peanut butter chocolate chip.
There we go. Yeah. We're
I've
gonna
got
call
it.
We're going to call it the Lanai Special.
There you go.
What's your top sellers over there?
The top seller over there right now would actually be this Philadelphia, as well as our 17-hour braised short rib.
Oh, that
It's a
sounds amazing.
boneless short rib, not Calbee style. It's sort of like a pot roast style, if you will. Braised 17 hours in a special oven that we have that keeps the temperature at a very precise setting. And if you thought this was soft, you've got to try our Shorty's rib. That's our top seller.
All right. Sounds good to me. Make sure you guys check out our website, cookinghawaiianstyle.com. You get all the recipes, everything you need to know from the step one all the way to the end. And you got to get good bread.
And you got to get
I
good
think it's
bread.
important that you get good bread. People always like walk over that.
If you sacrifice on the bread, all is lost.
Yeah.
Because you've gone so far to do all of this and yet you present it in a less than setting and it just won't work.
Yeah.
So the bread is key.
Right. And you can't put that in Wonder Bread because it's going to fall apart. So make sure you get a good bread. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Chef.
Mahalo, mahalo.
Make
Thank
sure you
for
guys check
having
out our
me.
website, Cooking Hawaiian Style. Also follow us on @CookingHawaiianStyle on Instagram and on Facebook. And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Ahui ho. I'm in love with this sandwich though right here.
Right on.
This season of Cooking Hawaiian Style was filmed on location at the Kala'i Aloha Estate. Wardrobe provided by Designs by Kamo Hoali'i. Catering provided by Rainbow Drive-In.